All right. As always, I completed a few grids today. I'll just go ahead and run through them really quick. I got 3 out of 4 between the Major League Baseball, NBA, WNBA, and the NFL. The NBA is the one that I kind of fell down on, but here's my grid for the major leagues. One of the things that I noticed fairly quickly was that there's a couple of places for Simpsons players from Homer at the Bat. The LA New York Yankees, Darryl Strawberry and Steve Sachs are possibilities there. So I went with Sachs. Could have also put Darryl Strawberry in the New York Yankees, New York Mets, but I went ahead and just went with the lower rarity score choice of Todd Zeile. Another thing that I kind of liked about this grid is that there are 3 candy players that can go here. You see, I have John Candelaria for the Blue Jays and Mets. He would also go, I believe, with the New York Yankees and New York Mets. And I have Candy Maldonado for the Dodgers and Blue Jays. And Tom Candiotti would be the third candy player that fits here. And I did go to Baseball Reference to see if there's other players whose names have the combination CAND, and most of them play for the Negro League. So Candy Jim Taylor, if there's a Negro League, that would be another player. And I think the player with probably the most major league experience that would also fit is Casey Candel. So that'd be fun to have him on the grid with Candiotti, Candelaria, Candy Maldonado, and Keimer Candelario. Right, here's the aforementioned our NBA grid. See, I got shut out on the Raptors. For some reason, I got Chris Humphries on the brain and put him for the Clippers and Raptors. Actually, he would go on the Celtics Raptors. The one choice that actually should have seemed obvious to me, I think, is Kelly Olynyk for the Raptors and the Celtics. Olynyk being a native of Canada, so Toronto. I kind of psyched myself out thinking that he didn't really play there. I only thought of that because he was Canadian. And Kelly, a very Irish name, and I did know that he played for the Boston Celtics. So the NFL, I managed to get all 9 today. These were pretty ordinary for the most part. I'll say that Gary Hogaboom, that was a guess. I knew he was played for the Dallas Cowboys, quarterback controversy with Danny White back in the day, and a vague memory that he may have played for the. I think they were the Indianapolis Colts at the time. Maybe they were still in Baltimore. I'm pretty sure they were in Indianapolis. The 2 other guesses that I liked here, guesses, I guess, was Daryl LaMonica. I wasn't sure that he had 10,000 yards, the Mad Bomber, but he always reminds me of the Adam Sandler Hanukkah song. I think it was like the 3rd rendition where it's Daryl LaMonica celebrates Hanukkah, right? That was a fun one. And Steve DeBerg, I always like to put him in there just because he seemed to be second fiddle to many great quarterbacks, some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, like Joe Montana, John Elway, Dan Marino, Steve Young. Actually, he started over Steve Young when they were in Tampa Bay, so I guess I should give him his due there. And here is my WNBA grid. I completed that one as well. The main question for me here was where to play Tamika Johnson. I think she was like 5'2" or 5'4", point guard from LSU, won a championship there, had 1,000 assists, played for all the teams mentioned there, so you could play her anywhere in those top 2 rows. But I ended up playing her with LA and Detroit / Tulsa / Dallas. Couldn't come up with anyone else there, so I went with Tamika Johnson. One of the answers that I really like here is Nancy Lieberman Klein, I believe, at the time when she was playing in the WNBA. The OG Title IX women's basketball player from ODU, played her college ball in the 70s and then played in the WNBA in the 90s. It was a pretty remarkable pick. The only one team, I usually find that very challenging because you're usually looking for either current players or players who had such short careers that they only played with one team, with the exceptions of players like Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. And those usually get very high percentages. So like Brittany Griner here. One player that came to mind, but I didn't want to risk it because I wasn't sure, was Penny Toller. She would have been the first starting point guard for the LA Sparks back when the WNBA started in the 90s. But yeah, so there's my grid for the WNBA. So with the NFL and the Major League Baseball, I completed 3 out of my 4 grids. It's a pretty good day.